we be bringing the heat to, and like salt and pepper, we gonna season that Trinity steak, yo. Shit.
This is why I've said before that discussing things with Trinitarians and going on their live panels is a waste of time, and I don't really recommend it because they make excuses and they'll block you. This is what I got blocked for asking these questions. So I started off with saying, why would I listen to him teach me that God is three persons? I'd like him to show me in the Bible where somebody else teaches me the Trinity. I want to learn from Jesus and his apostles, not this guy. Okay. And I said, please direct me in scripture where somebody teaches the Trinity or tries to make the case for one. No riddles, hints. Thank you. And then I get CSC, the Old Testament shows a multi-person God. Okay, and I said, that's not a teaching. Show me where the Trinity is taught, where it says God is a three-person being. Somebody else says, sure, go up and ask Nick about it. You can be the first one up. And I said, nowhere in the Bible does it say God is more than one person or teaches a Trinity, and you'll never be able to show me where it's taught ever. And I said, no, I don't think I'll be able to have an honest conversation. I've spoken with him before. He makes up too many excuses. This other person said, come up on the live stream then, little bro. And I said, the issue is you guys want to believe in something. You're not people who are trying to seek truth. I am, and you can't show me anybody in the Bible teaching the Trinity. This other person says, if you don't concede it's three persons, you concede polytheism. This shows you the ignorance of these people and their statements. And I said, that's a cope. And more excuses. Again, nobody argues for a Trinity position in the Bible, nobody. And then this guy goes, 1 John 5:7. See, it shows you the cognitive dissonance and the brainwashing of Trinitarians. Okay. And I said, so the fact that you can't show me anybody in the Bible trying to teach what this guy teaches says everything I need to know. This person says, beginning of Genesis shows the Trinity. Verses like, we made man in our image. We made man in our image. This guy doesn't even know what he's talking about. In the beginning was God, and the Word was with God and was God. This shows the total ignorance of Trinitarians. Call in, little bro. And I said, LOL, the Son is not there in 1 John 5:7, and that's a well-known forgery, and that's not a teaching of a Trinity. Talk about sloppy theology is what I typed, but this put psychology. And I said, this is what I'm talking about. People are so desperate to believe anything, they will come up with forged verses where the Son's not even mentioned. And I said, no, in order for me to come up, I need somebody to show me the Trinity being taught. Otherwise, this will be a waste of time for me. This person says, whether or not it's a forgery is a different debate. This shows you the desperation. They have nothing to point you to as far as the teaching, so they give you a verse that does not have the Son in it. It's a well-known forgery, and they're trying to cobble this together with hints and riddles. And I said, first of all, the Son is not in that verse, and that's not a teaching of a Trinity. Try again. And then guess what? I get blocked. I get timed out for that. I'm not being disrespectful, and these people are just not being honest with the text. I said, if the Trinity was taught, it would be all over the Bible. You wouldn't have to go to a forgery where the Son is not even mentioned. And then that's pretty much it. That's where I got timed out. Then he's texting. Literally in Genesis 1:26, it says, and God said, let us make man in our image after our likeness, plural. It never says three. And it shows you the desperation because they skip all of the other passages, Genesis 1:1-25, where God creates and he never once says, let us. So God was creating all of these other instances, but he never says, let us. It says, and then God made this, and God made that, and God made this. It didn't say, and then God said, let us make the firmament, and there was the firmament, and let us make the land. See, they skip to Genesis 1:26 because they're incredibly dishonest. And there you go, there's your Trinity. This is the stupidity and the ignorance that I was talking about. You'll never be able to have reasonable, intelligent conversations with these people. Okay, I've been on the channel before, and the guy is an excuse maker. He's not a good apologist. He tries to basically repeat everything that everybody else says. He has no unique arguments, and he can't point you to the Bible where somebody else teaches it. See, that's where they get fed up, and that's where the rubber hits the road. I said, no, you're not going to teach me the Trinity. I've been down the Trinitarian Deity of Jesus Brick Road game all over the place. Sam Shimon, Anthony Rogers, Kelly Powers, you name it. Okay. I don't need you to teach me the Trinity. I would like you to point me to the Bible where Christ or the apostles or somebody else teaches me the Trinity. They can't do it. They're stuck. And so they'll block you or kick you off. Thanks for coming on. Bye. That's it. Because they don't care about truth. These people are deceivers and they're just in their own echo chamber. Okay. So I said, no, that's what you call desperation. The Son is not mentioned in that verse. You're trying to make things come alive just to believe in something. That's not being biblically honest. And this person says, is God the creator and should we worship the creator? See, I'm blocked. See, I can say hello. And I'm blocked. I have been placed in timeout by the owner of the video or the moderator. So there you go. There's your conversation with Trinitarians and why I'd recommend not anybody go on these channels, because if they're going to block you and mute you when you're commenting in the comment section, asking them to show you somebody else in the Bible to show you the Trinity, these people are not here to have a conversation. They're here to basically prove themselves right, and they will use anything. There's no questioning here. They're not going, well, that's true. I wonder why Jesus and the apostles don't teach it. I wonder why I have to leapfrog to Genesis 1:26 when Genesis 1:1 and 1:25 don't ever say let us, and let us never says 3 anyway, and I have to use a forged verse. See, they don't ask themselves these questions, and they're very obnoxious. Well, if he cares about truth, he'll chime in, he'll call in. No, I won't. There's no point. You guys answered my question already. You're not able to provide anything as far as a Trinity teaching. You made all the excuses before I even got on the show. So why would I go on a show when you guys haven't even passed the preliminaries? You guys can't even answer basic questions. So am I expecting an honest conversation from Fearless Truth? No. His audience is not even honest. Okay. So I'm not gonna set myself up when Trinitarians are too cowardly to come on my channel. Sam Shimon, I've went on his channel many times. He runs and dodges and makes excuses. When I asked him, hey, Sam, show me somebody else teaching the Trinity. He basically came up with a choke lock on himself. He struggled, he stuttered, and that was it for him. He kicked me off. His face was red. He kicked me off because he had nothing. Then he came over to my channel when I was doing a live stream against the Trinity and called me a dog. So he'll wander over to my channel, but he won't go on my channel, see? And he lied on his channel saying that I left. No, he kicked me off, see? So I've been on his channel probably 4 times, 5 times, and every time he kicks me off because he has no argument, okay? So there you go. There's the conversation on the channel Fearless Truth, which I would call him fearful of the truth, because that's exactly what he is. He's fearful of the truth. And he's going to come on and teach me go on up. You won't. Yeah, I won't, because you guys are cowards. You guys can't even allow me to engage with you in the comment section to pass the sniff test. You failed in spectacular fashion trying to teach the Trinity or show me somebody teaching it. So am I going to go up while this person has the mute button? They can kick me off anytime and listen to more of this verbal nonsense when you can't even answer basic questions? No, I'm not going to waste my time with arrogant people. If you can't show me anybody in the Bible trying to teach the Trinity, and you want to listen to Nick, this guy, for 2 hours try to teach you the Trinity and come up with all of these hints and these riddles, and basically his fanboys in the comments go, yeah, 1 John 5:7, then you must be on Trinitarian crack rock. You're on triunifying mind. And I do this because I want to show people of how intellectually dishonest Trinitarians are. These live streams, they're a waste of time. Okay, I'll go on if somebody wants to engage with me, but they're usually very deceptive, very immature, and very dishonest. Okay, they won't come to our channels because they know they would get smacked, they would get rocked, and we would be a lot more gracious on our channels than they are on theirs. Okay, so they don't care about truth. They care about numbers. They care about viewers. They care about living in their own echo chamber. These people don't have their antenna out in the audience listening and go, wow, he actually makes some good arguments. He makes some good arguments. No, they're just trying to confirm their own bias. And basically to them, these shows are basically kind of like Gladiator or UFC. They're cheering against anybody else who's not their favorite. So Nick, this guy, fearful of the truth, is their favorite, and they want him to win. And that's a dangerous position when you think that this is the eternity's on the line here. That's your belief in Christianity, that the eternity's on the line and you have to get this right. And when little old me comes on and tries to ask for a single teaching by anybody, I get timed out by the moderators. I wasn't being rude. I was just asking them to show me where it's taught, and they couldn't handle it. So the demons in them mute you or block you because they rage. The demons don't want these people to come to the light. They don't want these people to have truth. They want to hide the truth and keep these people living in an echo chamber of delusion. And again, they don't come to our channels. When they come to our channels, they get smacked around, or when they go to a channel that's kind of neutral, at least having a debate, like when God Logic and Andrew Griffin were on the Gospel Truth, they manhandled those Trinitarians. There was 5 Trinitarians on there, and they got manhandled. Those Trinitarians got manhandled because they're not able to control the tempo. They're not able to kick you off. They're not able to talk bad or over you, see? So this is another example of why going on these channels is a waste of time. And then they cry why nobody goes on their channels. Well, nobody goes on your channels because you guys are not even honest with the presentation, with the discussion. And again, if you can't even pass the preliminaries, an introduction to show me where it's taught, you really think I'm going to go up and spend my time listening to somebody try to teach me something that Christ and the apostles nor anybody in the Bible ever taught me? Again, you must be on triunifying mind crack rock. So this is a classic example of what happens when you become a Trinitarian. You become spiritually blinded to the truth. You're given an intellectual and spiritual lobotomy, and you just can't think for yourself anymore. You become completely trinified, stupefied, and turned in all kinds of directions. So this is exactly what I was talking about earlier. No arguments. And hey, if you bring arguments, they're going to time you out. They're going to mute you and make sure that you don't have a voice. So more proof, again, why Trinitarians are a waste of time engaging with.
God be 3 persons, Shoo! Like the Lord all up in his bitness in this Trinity.